Hey shooters, this is Joe Lowley from Precision Match Timer, and today we're going to look at a new piece of equipment for me, and that is the Masterpiece Arms Matrix Pro. And I've been a big fan of Masterpiece Arms and their chassis for quite a while. I've had quite a few of them. Let's see, this is first one I had. This one was probably quite a ways back. I replaced the butt end on it and put a folder on it, and then a few other things. They eventually came out with their own grip. This was early enough that I had to send this back in order to have the Arca rail added on because it originally didn't come with it. And that's how long it's been around. So yeah, I've been a big fan of theirs for quite a while now. So I had that one. I had another BA comp. This one I picked up already painted by somebody, and this camo. Had a great new bag rider on it, and this one also served me for quite a while, and for the last couple years I have been using the Matrix, the regular Matrix, and this thing has been great. I didn't have any plans to replace it. It was such a great chassis. I did add the rails onto it, those front rails. Made it nice and wide, which I really enjoyed. The Matrix also has the great thumb rests, the trigger finger standoff there that makes that 90-degree press just really nice. The grip, I like a nice 90-degree grip. It's been really, really nice to have. And I've been very happy with it and had no reason to really upgrade. Except that I had let's see. This is my Voodoo, my rimfire rifle, and the difference with the Voodoo is that I had it rebarreled recently by my gunsmith, and we put a big fat barrel on it. It is a 1 1/4 straight taper with the EC tuner on it, and in order to fit a 1 1/4 straight taper barrel, it wouldn't fit on any of the BA comps. They don't go that wide. The regular Matrix, I believe, would fit it. The problem was the Matrix was, first of all, being used by my centerfire gun, and it was also bedded for an impact action. So it would not have taken the Voodoo. So I decided to get a Matrix Pro, because one of the advantages of the Matrix Pro is it has a 1.35 inlet. So a 1.25 barrel is easy enough. And once I started shooting this, I really enjoyed it. So I definitely saw some advantages and decided I would match both my rimfire and my centerfire rifles to be the same type of chassis. So that is when I got this one. I placed an order for this, got it done in a custom color, and it has a number of advantages over the regular Matrix, which I can go over. The first, of course, is the size of the barrel inlet. Allowing for a larger barrel is great. I may, next time I rebarrel my centerfire rifle, even go to a heavier barrel. I have a heavy varmint on it. I've been considering going over to a straight taper on it as well. It does have a larger night vision bridge on it, which is a little beefier, a little chunkier. Overall, this whole thing just feels a little beefier, and I like that. It has those rails built in. It is now part of the chassis, and that is really nice. The weights for it, instead of being set inside before you put in your barreled action, you can have your barreled action in here and add and subtract weights by sliding them in the front. And that is a really neat system and something I want to take advantage of. And we're going to do it a little bit just to try to balance the rifle the best we can. It is also about 2 inches longer than the regular Matrix. So that helps, hopefully, with a little bit more weight. Steel spigot on the front. Should all be good. Everything else is very similar in that the same trigger finger standoff and the thumb rest. That's all very, very similar. Back here on the butt end of the chassis is one of the great things about the Matrix Pro. I've used it a couple times and need to practice more with it. But if you are in a situation where your rear bag is just not tall enough to get up there, you can just simply press it with your finger, and that will drop down out of the way, and it will push back up. In case you couldn't see that, it's just a button, and it pops down, and then you have, another inch or so of rear movement of your rifle in case you can't get your bag up there. It has come in handy a couple of times. I need to practice with it more, and I need to try using it more often. I don't always remember about it because it is new, so that is something to definitely consider. And the last thing that I really like about the Matrix Pro is the ability to add these magwell blockers. You can see it on the Voodoo, especially on the Voodoo, it helps. Anyone who shot these knows that any kind of little variation in these magazines getting pushed can cause some feeding issues on the Voodoo. So it definitely helps being able to push right up into the bag and not have to worry about doing anything to your magazine itself. And I look forward to having that as well on my centerfire gun. So there's a couple things that I'll probably do to it, one of which is work with the weights. I will also put the exterior weights on the outside from Gray Ops, and then I will also work back here on the stock on some things, and some little tweaks, some little upgrades, and I'll take you along and show you exactly what I'm doing there. But overall, I'm really happy with this. So let's get it put back together. All right, so on the rear of this chassis, what we have is the cheek piece here, and that's where I'm going to work right now. I like to be able to remove the cheek piece whenever possible in order to clean the barrel. And so I like to fully remove it, but I also like to be able to put it back where it is. So there are a couple of set screws that will hold it right in place. Then you have to have a bit, and I instead would prefer to use like a thumb screw. So that's what I'm going to do. I got a couple of thumb screws given to me by my friend Mike Colley, who took them off, I believe he took them off a CZ, and they are the same threading and everything. So we're going to try using those. I believe MPA also sells a very similar type of thing. So then we're going to put collars on these posts so that it will, go back into the same level up and down every time when you take it off and on. And the way we're going to do that is using these little collars that will sit on there, and we have taken them to a grinder so that they will fit, with that little angled area that is on the Matrix Pro. So let's go ahead and take some time to put this all together. I'm going to remove these set screws, which I believe are 8/32 set screws, and remove them with a, let's see what this is, 5/64 hex. Okay. Now these are the same ones that are used back here as well. I never adjust this. This actually works out really well for me already. So I'm going to leave this one as is. I'm going to tighten them down a little bit. There you go. Those are tightened up. And I am actually going to store these right back on top of the other ones so that I don't lose them. I have them just in case something goes wrong. They're actually not doing anything, they're just sitting there, but that should help. So those are both removed. We're going to put in this thumb screw. Like I said, it's 8/32. I believe it's a 3/8 inch long. Go. There we go. Let's see, now these, I'll have to adjust this for when I get my head down on it, looking through the scope, but I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up. This actually uses a 3/32 hex. I'll just tighten them up a little bit. And there we go. Now this section is done for now. So we are going to take this magwell plate and we're going to install it in these 4 screws here. Should be relatively simple to do. It involves, let's see, this is a T25. Looks like it's the right size. One of those in loose. And in loose. There we go. And I'm not going to torque down too hard on these. And I don't think there's any torque settings really. And there we go. Mag blocker installed. Alright, so we're going to remove the night vision bridge. And I'm using a T15 Torx bit. Set that aside. And I also want to turn this over and remove the spigot mount. I need to take it out in order to slide the internal weights in. And this is a 1/8 inch hex. All right, let's go ahead and put the exterior weights in from Gray Ox. I really like these weights. One of the big reasons is I love to use this Sykes clutch, and I use it in the first hole of the rear weight. That's usually perfect for me off of a regular bag, and I have found it very useful. So again, this is a 1/8 hex. Just need to a couple short screws. That's all it takes. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. All right, so I have it put back together exactly the way Masterpiece Arms says to put a barreled action into the chassis, and snug it up, and then tighten your front screw 25 pounds, rear screw 25 pounds, front screw 65 pounds, and then your rear 65. I use the fix-it sticks, which have a 25 and a 65, which is nice. Another thing to keep in mind, I do this, is I have all my torque specs for my scopes and for the chassis and everything, and I write them down, and I keep those in my fix-it sticks case so that I can do it. So now I'm trying to find a balance point. I really want it balanced right about here. So I put a bag on top of this brass case, and it's still a little rear heavy, just a little bit. So I'm going to work on adding some of these internal weights. We are missing also the spigot mount, the steel spigot on the front. So a few weights in that spigot, and we'll see what happens. And if it doesn't balance, then we'll just keep working on it. So what I've been doing is adding a few weights, reapplying the spigot up front. You can see I'm not really putting them all in. I'm just putting the bottom one in so it doesn't slide any farther, and the top one's in. And then checking the balance. I just checked it, and I wanted one more. It was just a little bit rear heavy, and I think this is getting really close. So I just finished tightening down spigot. It's only got one in it, but it'll be good for weight. So now if we put this in, that is pretty balanced where I want it, and I am happy with that. I was glad I didn't have to use all the weights. The more weights you use, the more the weight's going to come back. So I'd rather keep the weight forward as much as possible. I don't just need extra weight just for weight's sake. This is a 6BR, so it's not exactly a heavy recoiling rifle. And some of my friends make fun of me because I usually use a pretty heavy rifle, but that is why I've been always trying to get a good balance. And I'd rather have a good balance. I like it on the heavier side, but I'd still rather have a good balance rather than just heavy. So let's get these all tightened back up and we'll see how it looks. So all it takes is lining all these screws up. There's 2 per weight. And there is a few different ways that these could go in. Each of the weights has a number of holes. In order for them to line up on the spigot one, I am using the far weight, or the far hole. So now I just need to keep putting them in. I do use a flashlight occasionally so I can look in the hole and see if they're lined up. And if they're not lined up, then I can just reach in here and push them over a little bit, which isn't too difficult to do. They are pretty darn close. The hole usually finds them anyway. But that ends up being a much better way of trying to put these in than having to take the whole barrel of action out and then put it back in, take it out, put it back in, take it out, and to try to get things balanced. And the modularity of these, that I don't have to use them all, that I can just use the ones that I want, is a really great system. And it's one of the things I like best about the Matrix Pro. I tell you what, this is a good time to also see another thing that I like about the Matrix Pro, is that the arcing cut goes all the way through. It does line up with the spigot as well. If you want to ever put like a bag up front, a plate in a bag for shooting tripod, like off a cattle gate or something. I like to shoot tripod, so it's nice to be able to put it all the way up here and use both the spigot and the arc rail. But also, if you have a bipod that you want to use on part of the stage and part of the stage it's in the way, like a small porthole or something, you can just ditch it. I've always used levers on the bipod so I can ditch them, but with this you can just have a little screw and just throw it off the front and you'd be good. So that is a really, really nice feature to have. So let's finish putting these in. Got 6 more of these to go, and then put the other spigot mount in, and we're going to be just about ready to go, and I am pretty happy with this. Well, it looks like after balancing everything, I put all those internal weights in, and then I thought about it and said, what happens when I have a loaded magazine? And so I loaded up a magazine and put it in, and it got rear heavy again. So I went ahead and added the last 2 weights, and that is actually all of the weights. So they are all in. So it's going to be a little heavier than I was thinking just a second ago, but not by much. So this balances really, really well right now, with even with the loaded mag, and I am pretty happy with it. I am going to take it and put it on a scale, and I will let you know what the final weight tally is. And my guess is it's going to be around 25 pounds or so. And it is a heavy varmint 28.5-inch barrel, so it's pretty long barrel. I may next time go a little shorter, go back to a 26-inch barrel, but go with a full bull or straight taper barrel, and we'll see what that would do. a little bit more weight in the front, and I could go 28 in straight taper, but I think that's going to get pretty out of hand. So this is looking pretty good. I have a match, actually the MPA match at Cool Acres this weekend, and I don't know if this video will get out before that or not, but I will let you know if there's any issues that arise from it. And overall, I am really happy with this, and I encourage anyone who's interested in a chassis to look at the Masterpiece Arms. I'm not sure there's a better chassis out there. So I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe. I'll be doing both rimfire and centerfire videos, some reloading videos, some equipment reviews here and there, things that I like. And of course, always going to talk a little bit about my precision match timer when I can. And I appreciate everyone watching. Thanks.